When you're called out as being in error, don't try to justify yourself. This is the ego talking, and the ego will always make you out to be right. It will defend you against any criticism, merited or not. That is the worst thing when you're trying to become more spiritual. Being stitched up by your ego, which demands that all see it as correct, especially yourself. Ask, what if I'm wrong and they're right? So you have some growth to do, big deal. You're in the right place. We all have growth to do. There's no shame in having to grow when it's the point of being alive anyway. Another post. So you're 15 and your ego is telling you you're right. You're perfect just as you are. Everyone else is wrong. You turn 20 and your ego is still telling you you're right. You're perfect just as you are. Everyone else is wrong. You turn 30 and your ego is still telling you you're right. You're perfect just as you are. Everyone else is wrong. You turn 40 and your ego is still telling you you're right. You're perfect just as you are. Everyone else is wrong. You turn 50 and your ego is still telling you you're right. You're perfect just as you are. Everyone else is wrong. All your life you've been defended against learning anything new by your ego, which justifies everything you do as being correct, and says everyone else is wrong. Meanwhile, you see everything wrong in others because you project your faults onto them. You're not only annoying to others, if you're lucky, they feel sorry for you, but everyone else has gone whizzing by you and left you back at the starting gate. You end up old and lonely because you haven't changed while everyone else has. Adama, there's no shame in choosing to see something from a higher viewpoint, is there? No. Thank you for asking me to do this video. Me, thanks for doing it, Adama. I love to hear from all my people, but I get so busy that I don't give all the chance. And I know you all have wisdom to impart. Adama, our people were there as yours are now, many years ago. Agathans stem from the Lemurians, who were Pleiadian and Lyran souls. We chose to come to Earth to bring a higher expression to its low dimension. So many have put so much into raising the frequency of your people because your people are so special. Me, oh yes, because we hold the best DNA. The best of all the seed races. Adama, yes, but we see it's difficult for you to ascend because your DNA is so sought after. Your energy is so dynamic and you are wonderful creators because of your DNA, that to enslave you would be desirable to races that are exploitative. So this is what happened. You've been manipulated to experience an overbearing ego, which keeps your race aligned with its captors. You think like they do. You're very capable of hate and fear, and along with your propensity for anger, your captors would prefer to keep themselves hidden from you. They know you wouldn't like it if in fact they revealed themselves to you. So they deny their existence out of fear of you. Me, yes, they do. So, as for the ego, trying to defend or justify yourself against criticism. Now we've said criticism is the work on an energy vampire, so perhaps there is merit in being attacked by someone who criticizes you. Adama, growth has come from it. But in the case you find yourself defending yourself, you need to put your defenses aside, because they're defending you from yourself, from higher knowledge. That's all they're doing. They're defending you from learning. Your egos are enormous, and they work the way the egos of your captors work. They are self-sustaining, except in one way, they can't produce the God-given energy force of love. So your egos take this higher force that you are and twist it into hate. You attack each other. You defend against attack by always assuming you're 100% correct. What if you're not? If you're not, then you have opened the door to higher learning. Always assume there's more to learn in any situation. Always. Never say, I know everything. Your ego would like to think it does, but it doesn't. Don't defend yourself against an attack. There's nothing to defend. When your ego goes into defense mode, realize it's doing that to protect itself from hurt, but it's not you. It's your connection to your controllers. It's what keeps you enslaved. The you that is true, that lives eternally, is a being of love, and love doesn't need defense. Love is love. It doesn't harm. It doesn't defend. It doesn't defend because it doesn't attack. Me, thanks, Adama. Adama, I'll just add that understanding this function, that the ego will go into defense mode or start justifying itself, as a reflex. It's a reflex it goes into when it feels threatened. And the ego needs to shrink, it really needs to be put into proper place in your life. Rather than running your life, it needs to align with your heart and soul. This reflex alone could be stopping your spiritual growth. Yes, just this one thing. When you have a lower mind always telling you you're right, then why look any further? That's why you have to ask, what if I'm not right? What if there's more to learn, and move your ego aside to investigate, to find more truth? Me, what if the ego is one that tells you you're always wrong? Adama, I think it's easier for one with the inferior ego to seek a spiritual solution. When you live a life that always tells you you're flawed, why wouldn't you want for something kinder and more loving? Me, so the ego can tell you, I'm always right, or I'm always wrong, or it can flip-flop as well. Just remember, either way, it could be stopping your spiritual growth right there. It could be stopping you from aligning with your higher self or your Christ consciousness or God itself. Nobody wants to think they're wrong all the time, but stop seeing being wrong as something shameful. Look at things as if there's more to learn. Adama, yes. For example, those who were angry at my comment that you're no angels, could be experiencing this justifying ego. When you see yourself as lacking flaws, or you see yourself as totally flawed, then you've got ego problems. You're a being of love in reality, and relating to yourself through your ego is the flaw you have. Me, thanks Adama. Adama, you're most welcome. I bid you adieu.